Walter Scott was known for the unmistakable, rich voice that guided some of the most memorable R&B songs ever recorded. Behind his calm demeanor and smooth sound, however, was a story that only truly began to unfold after his passing at the age of 81. His death not only left a void in the music world, but also set off a wave of emotion within his family, revealing layers of care, planning, and love that few people realized existed. When Walter's wife broke down in public, it wasn't just from grief. It was from the profound discovery of the secret preparations her husband had made, including a fortune that would secure his family's future in ways she never imagined. Walter Scott was more than just an entertainer. He was an architect of sound, an icon whose contributions helped define an era. As a leading member of the Whispers, he shaped the landscape of R&B with hits that have long outlasted the fleeting trends of the industry. Songs like Rock Steady, The Beat Goes On, and Lady weren't just popular, they became woven into the fabric of everyday life, playing at celebrations, family gatherings, and in the hearts of fans across generations. Walter's subtle charisma, his refined stage presence, and that velvet voice made him adored by millions. Yet, with his passing, we are just beginning to understand the depth of the man behind the music. Growing up in Watts, Los Angeles during a period of cultural evolution, Walter was surrounded by the sounds of soul, jazz, and Motown. Born in the early 1940s, he was part of a generation that saw music as more than entertainment. It was a calling, a lifeline. Teaming up with his twin brother, Wallace "Scotty" Scott, and a close-knit group of friends, Walter co-founded the Whispers. Their beginnings were humble. They played at local community centers, nightclubs, and talent shows. Even then, there was a spark about their sound, with Walter's voice bringing an emotional depth and steadiness that set them apart. Producers quickly noticed that even in the group's earliest recordings, Walter could carry the heart of a song, making every note resonate with sincerity. By the 1970s, the Whispers had landed deals with Soul Clock and later Solar Records, and their disciplined approach to music and performance began to pay off. Their matching outfits, synchronized dance moves, and flawless harmonies harken back to legendary groups like The Temptations, but with their own unique twist. Walter's role on stage was special. He wasn't loud or attention-seeking. Instead, he let his voice and quiet confidence draw on the audience. He was the gentle force that anchored the group's performances, a presence that made fans feel every lyric. The late 70s and early 80s saw the Whispers release a string of hits, each one becoming a cultural touchstone. Their music wasn't just for the charts, it became the soundtrack to people's lives. Weddings, parties, and everyday moments were marked by Walter's unmistakable sound. As the music industry shifted and new styles emerged, the Whispers stayed true to their roots, largely thanks to Walter's steady influence. He was the glue that held the group together, always prioritizing unity and legacy over fleeting fame. Offstage, Walter was a completely different man. While millions recognized him as a star, those closest to him saw a reserved, deeply devoted family man. Unlike many artists who allowed fame to overshadow their personal lives, Walter fiercely protected his privacy. He avoided the spotlight when it came to his home, preferring to let his actions speak for themselves. His commitment to his wife was unwavering. Their relationship endured for decades without scandal or controversy. They navigated the turbulent waters of fame together, always emerging stronger. Friends described their bond as quiet but powerful, a love story that didn't need grand gestures to be meaningful. Walter's approach to life was shaped by values of purpose, discretion, and foresight. As he grew older and health challenges appeared, he began making deliberate preparations for his family's future. He updated legal documents, held confidential discussions with lawyers, and meticulously organized personal files. He even wrote heartfelt letters for his wife, placing them in hidden spots where she would eventually find them after his passing. These were more than just notes. They were messages of support, guidance, and love, crafted to help her navigate the difficult Days ahead, it wasn't until after Walter's death that his wife fully grasped the depth of his planning. She discovered not just financial security, but a roadmap for the future, all laid out with care and thoughtfulness. In her emotional public statement, she described how Walter had left behind not just memories, but peace of mind. He had anticipated her needs, provided comfort through his words, and ensured that she and the family would be protected. Walter's legacy didn't end with music, or even with his personal letters. Perhaps the most surprising revelation was the significant wealth he left behind, much of it hidden from public view. This fortune wasn't just made up of royalty checks or savings. It included real estate investments, business ventures, and intellectual property rights that Walter had quietly accumulated over the years. Some of the properties he purchased decades ago in California had appreciated dramatically, making them worth millions. Unlike many musicians of his era who struggled with financial mismanagement, Walter was exceptionally prudent. He prioritized ownership, securing partial rights to some of the Whisper's biggest hits, and making sure that royalties would continue to flow to his family for years to come. Walter's financial acumen was a well-kept secret, even from those close to him. He never flaunted his wealth or allowed it to dictate his lifestyle. While other artists chased the trappings of fame, Walter focused on long-term security. He paid off debts, created trusts for his grandchildren, and set aside funds for education, health, and emergencies. Each detail was designed to ensure that his family would not only be comfortable, but would thrive after he was gone. What made Walter's approach so extraordinary was the way he quietly supported his family and community. Part of his estate was earmarked for charitable giving, particularly to music education programs in the Watts neighborhood where he grew up. This gesture was a testament to his gratitude for the opportunities he received as a young musician and his desire to give back. In addition to financial gifts, Walter recorded private voice messages for his family, sharing his hopes, explaining his choices, and offering encouragement for the future. These messages, never meant for public release, became cherished treasures. For those he left behind, news of Walter's death reverberated throughout the music world. Tributes poured in from fellow artists and fans alike, with many expressing not only sorrow, but deep respect. The Whisper's music saw a resurgence in popularity as people revisited the songs that had meant so much to them. Social media was flooded with personal stories and memories highlighting the impact Walter had on countless lives. Young artists credited him with inspiring their own careers, demonstrating that his influence extended well beyond his own generation. Walter's passing sparked important conversations about what it means to leave a legacy. Many musicians focus on immediate success, but Walter played the long game. He understood that true legacy is about what endures after the spotlight fades: family, stability, and the ability to help others. His story is now being used as a case study in financial literacy for musicians, showing the importance of retaining rights, building wealth, and planning for the future. There are new initiatives in the works to honor Walter's memory. BET is developing a special to celebrate his contribution to soul music, and scholarship funds are being established in his name to support young musicians. A documentary series about the Whispers is also in development, with Walter's story at its heart. Ironically, the man who shunned the spotlight in life is now being recognized as a standard-bearer for artist independence and personal responsibility. The lessons from Walter's life go far beyond the music. He demonstrated how to balance public achievement with private devotion, how to love deeply and prepare wisely. His wife revealed that Walter was working on a memoir before his health failed. Though unfinished, the family intends to complete and release it using his notes, recordings, and family recollections to tell the full story of his journey, story of perseverance, humility, and unwavering care. Walter Scott's legacy is a reminder that strength isn't always loud, and impact doesn't require applause. He lived his life with quiet purpose, made decisions that protected those he loved, and left behind a blueprint for others to follow. While his voice may have fallen silent, the echoes of his choices, his music, and his love continue to resonate. Walter didn't just perform songs about love, he embodied it in every aspect of his life. Now, as fans remember him and new generations discover his story, the true measure of his legacy is finally coming into focus. The conversation is just beginning. Walter Scott proved that a true legend isn't just remembered for what they do on stage, but for how they shape the lives of those they leave behind.